Hello, everybody, and welcome to a cup of self-empowerment to trust, heal, and be thyself with myself and Tamara Griffins. Tamara is here from the US today in Pacific time zone. So thank you for getting up for an early morning cuppa with us today. And for those who don't know Tammy, let me take this opportunity to introduce this very special lady, this very special friend, who I'm very grateful to have met through my Akashic journey. So Tamara is the creator of infinite healing and guidance. She is here on a mission as an earth angel. And this time round, she is here as an I am activator, which means she's here to infuse love and into the humans and into the grid of Mother Earth. She is creator of all things love. Tammy has been on the most important part of her journey since 2016, which means it's 7 years of always evolving and expanding. She's a sensitive empath and highly intuitive, a mixed pot of all things spiritual. Tammy likes to mix all kinds of spiritual ways and takes what works for her. Some of the things Tammy has accomplished over the last 7 years are an ordained minister, a Usui Reiki master teacher, a Chios Master teacher. She's also certified in Kundalini Reiki, the Akashic Records, animal communication. She's a shaman, a channeler of Christ's light, love and light, as well as a self-improvement coach. Tammy can hear the trees talking and is an avid tree hugger. She does spell work, tarot cards, oracle readings, aura readings, love bindings, and can see your past lives. And she also sees the timelines to your future, your past and your present, and is also certified in aromatherapy and all things oily. She loves people in general and is a lover of life, and she's here to help guide you to find you. Tammy's mission is here to help you unlock and empower you to find your greatest gifts. She's a light activator who loves hanging out with her 2 children and her 6 grandbabies, who she absolutely adores. Wow. We're feeling the love in that, my dear. Oh, totally. So much love, so much radiance there. Oh, totally feeling it. And I'm sure everyone who's watching it today is feeling that too. So thank you, Tammy, for joining us today. And let's just kick off. You know, you've said you've been on your journey for now the last 7 years, which has been really the main part of your journey. So how did you start trusting thyself to actually take this step?
That's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Because I was at a point in my life where I was really sad and broken and just down, right? So I was abusing myself. And I really was at the point where I just wanted to check out.
Okay.
I was done with it. And so that was my mission on this particular night. I passed out, fell asleep, and I woke up someone else. So I am a walk-in soul, a soul exchange.
Oh, okay. Can you explain to those who don't know what that is?
A walk-in soul is what happens is, so when someone is traumatic, suicide, depressed, you're just at the end of your rope. What happens is a walk-in soul comes to engage in the embodiment of you, right? So that soul, and it's an adult soul, right? So what happens is it comes in, and for me, it didn't actually trade places. It integrated itself with me. So what happens is a walk-in soul, it does not experience the conditioning of childhood. And it comes with a different relationship to life, right?
Yeah.
Because the soul is not born in the traditional way. Okay, so what happens is sometimes you can trade places.
I've heard of trading places where one's walked out and literally one's walked in. I've heard of that.
So with me, we just integrated, right? Oh, wow. I did go into the Akashic Records and I had a reading, and they asked me if I wanted to integrate that soul or get rid of it, right? Basically. I mean, that was what someone said to me once, and I said, absolutely not. It is part of who I am.
Yeah.
So a walk-in soul retains memories of the original personality of who they are, but they don't have the emotions attached to those memories.
Okay.
If that makes sense, right?
It makes sense, yeah.
And so as they integrate, they bring in their own emotional, spiritual, mental, and then they evolve with that life that they've integrated in to resonate with their soul purpose. So
Oh,
both of us have the same soul purpose in life.
which was
And generally, a walk-in soul is more advanced in every way, shape, and form, right? Okay. Yeah, so what happens is you maintain your original personality, but the personality and traits of you change.
Okay.
So I woke up a completely different person. Whew.
Okay, so how did this completely different person feel when they woke up? Because obviously they were not feeling like they wanted to carry on when they went to sleep. So, and that must have been really strange to wake up and suddenly feel so different.
I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
What I did is I went into work. I was super happy. I couldn't understand why I was so happy, right?
Okay.
And everything that I was feeling before, all of those emotions attached to what has happened to me,
Yeah.
it started to go away.
Wow.
Um, and I actually went into work and I said, y'all, this is going to sound crazy. I said, and I didn't know I was a walk-in or a soul exchange at the time.
Well, no,
but
you wouldn't.
I said I wasn't abducted by aliens, but I did have a higher consciousness was infusing information into me, and that's how I felt. So I actually said I was abducted by aliens, and they actually uploaded all the information because I was intuitive. I could see, I could hear, I could smell things that aren't there. I could smell cigarettes on TV, and I was like, what is this? So that's when I began to dig deep.
Yeah, because everything was so heightened, which wasn't there before.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm like psychic, right? And everybody's like, what? And here's another thing is that,
and I'm sure they related so well with the, I've been abducted by aliens comment. They're like, okay, what's she been smoking? She's coming to work completely high. And now
they thought I had really tripped my trigger, really. And the other thing is that I was, I didn't believe. I didn't believe in a higher power. I didn't believe in anything. And I just sat there and I said, thank you, God. And everybody's like, you don't even believe in God. And I was like, I do today.
Yeah.
And walk-in is a new age concept, right? We didn't hear about this before. So now that there's more walk-in souls, it's becoming, not the norm, right? But that it does happen. So it's interesting when you go to a restaurant and it says walk-ins welcome. No appointment needed.
No.
So there was a soul contract between us. We knew each other before.
Okay.
And so they just came in to integrate. They integrated with me and helped me. And there's
them coming in, was it automatically switched that trust, and I take it so
automatically. Like my thing is, because I'm a transformational coach, and my biggest thing is let it go. Let it go. Whatever is eating up from your past, we have to learn to let it go. Our past is our past. We're not meant to weave backwards, right? We are meant to weave forward into our future.
That's true. So sometimes it's very, very hard.
Our past and everything that we've been through, no matter how traumatic it is, it's our experiences. It's not what makes us.
Truth, yeah.
It's just the lessons that we came down here and said, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, some people will say, well, why did I want to be an alcoholic? Or why did I want to be sad? Or, whatever that is. And maybe the alcoholic in the previous life was a counselor.
Yeah.
And so they come into this life to complete that full circle of being
from the
counselor
side,
and the addict, so they can understand.
Yeah. it's a lot to digest. I understand it for a lot of people. That's a lot to digest and understand and give that trust to. But is, you know, it is the trust is complete and utter key. Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
Did I go
No,
away?
you're still here, completely utterly here. You haven't walked off yet.
Okay, I don't see you.
Walking off on us. You've walked in, you don't want to walk off.
I can't see you anymore, so that's why.
Okay, well, I can see you absolutely fine, and I'm sure everyone else can as well.
Okay. What is happening here?
I don't know.
I don't either. Okay. Well, as long as you can see me, I guess
I
I
can
don't
see you, so just trust that everything's exactly as it's supposed to be.
Right. That's right.
Trust right now. So obviously you
Absolutely.
came into, you know, trust in this, and that led you on your whole journey, because obviously you had stuff to heal like everyone else. So, you know, how did you start healing yourself, basically?
The first step was to trust, right? Was to trust in my own journey.
Mm-hmm.
I had broken my tailbone.
Oh,
Right. Probably I was already in the midst of my awakening, right? I really didn't know kind of what was going on, but I broke my tailbone, and there's no way to heal a tailbone. There's no surgery. You can't put a cast on it. You can't do anything like that. So what I did is I went to a Reiki master,
okay.
and I was like, wow. They cut my healing time in half because of, when you break your tailbone, you sit on a donut for 3 months.
Oh gosh,
You
yeah.
literally can't sit.
Oh,
So once I had the feel of Reiki, I was like, oh, okay. And because I was a walk-in soul and all this information was integrated into me, all I really needed to do was remember.
yeah.
I already knew everything, so I just needed to remember. So the biggest thing is to trust in your journey. So I secluded myself for 3 years, and I took courses. I took shaman courses. I became, Reiki Chios Master. I'm a crystal healer. I took meditation.
Yeah.
Um, and I woke up every single day at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I meditated for a year until I could actually see something other than darkness,
Whoa.
because that's all I could see. And I knew that my heart was closed.
Okay.
I was very proud of the fact that my heart was closed. But I had to learn that that's not the way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it was just trust, and to trust myself, right? Someone said, oh, Tammy, you're clairvoyant. Oh, Tammy, you're clairaudient. Oh, Tammy, you can read auras. And so I said, oh, okay. And I trusted it. So I dug in. I read a book. I
You
Googled it.
owned it. Basically, you reclaimed it. You basically reclaimed it.
That's right. That's right. I owned everything that came to me and said, oh, this is what you can do. Oh, this is what you can do. And it was very interesting for me,
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's something like, you know, like a few years beforehand, you would have never even dreamt of. And then, yeah.
And I had a weird experience. So I was already on my journey, and my air conditioner broke in my house. It's summertime, it's 120 degrees, and it's nighttime, right? And I had a couple people come through, telling me, oh, I can't fix your air conditioner, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, one guy referred another guy. And so there was this one gentleman, he showed up at my house at 10:30 at night, and he knocked on my door, and I called him in. I physically called him in because I
Oh,
needed my air fixed.
yeah. Yeah.
And he said, my friend reached out to me and said, hey, can you do this job? And he said, I went home, I changed my clothes, and I was going to go to bed. And he said, I got this feeling that I got to come to your house. So he said, here I am. And I
Okay.
said, well, I called you in, right?
Yeah.
And so as soon as I met him, I knew right away. I said, you're a master. And he said, like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. And I said, oh, yes, you are. I said, I can see it inside of you, right? The universe is
Oh,
in there.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he was actually he was a healer that would heal during his dream state. And so he told me, he's like, I said, well, I started talking to him, and I said, well, I really want to learn to read auras. And he said, learn. He says, you already know how. And I said, okay.
I'll take that.
Okay, I'll do that. Right. And so that's how it's happened for me. When they said, Tammy, you were clairaudient. One day I was sitting at work and I was in a parking lot and I had my headphones on. I was listening to music, and I worked in a hospital, right?
Okay.
And I could hear everybody's conversation. It was like the world was all speaking at once and there was nobody around me.
Did that not make you feel very overwhelmed? Did that overwhelm you?
No, because I'm an EarthAngel and I work with angels. The first time I saw angels, I jumped up and down and I got super excited and I wanted to tell somebody, but when I came back, the angels were gone.
Okay.
And so I had to learn that there are certain things that we can tell and not tell, right? Because people think you're certified crazy, right?
Yeah, certified bonkers in a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So that really was, I just started trusting myself. And then I started doing, as soon as I became a Reiki master, I would do weekly. I'd get in these big groups and do weekly distance healing, and people would reach out, and then they're like, oh, well, you can read people. So then I would start reading photos.
Oh, amazing.
Throw out timelines. I just trusted. And so people ask me, how do you know? I just do.
You just do.
I
and
just do.
that, and that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing to have that utter complete trust, because that is basically the key to it all, and that is the most hardest thing, I think, is to trust, definitely. So your trusting just led you completely on your healing journey, which is incredible.
100%.
Wow. So when would you say was the moment where you said, okay, this is who I am, this is unapologetically me, I'm going to stand in my sovereign self? Was there like a point in time which you can like say, okay, it was then? I mean, obviously it's something that's continuously growing the whole time, but is there a point, would it be your wake up where you got your walk in, or when would you think that would be?
It was at the beginning of my journey. And because all of spiritual, I always was a spiritual being, right? Because my first awakening came when I was 5 or 6.
5 or 6? What happened there then?
Someone broke into our house and they tied me up, tried to kill me. Yeah. And so in that moment, is when I changed. But then, I had such a hard life going all the way up to that point. But that really was my first awakening, and I should have listened before. And that's the thing.
You shut it
right?
down again. Did you kind of shut it all down again because of like, you didn't want to, kind of stuffed it down? It's like, okay, no, I need to.
No, I did shut it
I'm
all
not going to listen. Yeah.
And the thing with me, like believing in God, in 87, I had a near-death experience. I died. And I should have believed then, because I went up. I seen the lights. I seen the beauty. I did not want to come back. So at that point, that was another catalyst, right? Where it's definitely. Like, knock, knock, Tamara Griffis.
There was the third time on the door, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm opening. It's all right. You can come in. You can walk in. Wow.
And literally through probably the first year after the walk-in experience was when I started integrating. But I'm not even kidding. Like my doorbell would ring in my house and I'd go down there and there was nobody there. So I knew that it was for me to answer the call of the universe. Literally, like,
wow.
And there was knocks. I would hear knocking and I look out the window and there was nobody there. It was for me to answer that call to myself.
Wow, because that's actually really good, because I could see that someone could go the other direction and actually think, I'm cracking up here, I'm losing my marbles, and Yeah, losing the
But
plot completely. But thank goodness that your soul knew, no, come on. You know what we're trying to tell you here. We're not
right.
trying to push you over the edge, come on, you know what you need to do, basically.
I
Goodness.
was just so intrigued with all things spiritual that I dug so deep. I read 100 books in the first year of my awakening. And I could speed read.
Okay.
And
So you're kind of like Superman.
I call myself the master of the universe. I'm not an expert at anything, but I am a master of everything.
Yeah, which means you've learned to master yourself, haven't you? You've learned to master what you're supposed to be doing here in this journey, in your human experience as being Tammy Griffins. You mastered what you need to do here, which is what we're always here to do. We're always here to learn to master thyself, basically. So that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So what advice would you like to give our viewers today on their path to mastering thyself, basically?
Really, the really first thing is to love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself the most and trust whatever your intuition tells you. Not only here, right? Because in order to be not, I don't want to put a condition on it, but really your heart and your head need to be connected.
I do,
right?
yeah.
And that's part of your chakra system, right? I am super big on our chakras. I am super big on clearings. Twice a month, I do a new moon healing. I do a full moon healing. So yeah, that's a big thing, right? Is just trust, no matter how crazy it is, because you're always going to be told, you can't do that. How can you do that? What do you mean you're that? Well, I am that. So you need to embody that
and own
and 100% trust, no matter how crazy it is, no matter how crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here to do. There's no other, this is my belief, is that there's no other planet like this one, where we get to come down and experience and learn, and we need to learn love, unconditional love, and we have the free will to do it or not do it.
That's true.
There's no place else like that. There's other, we can go to other dimensions and stuff like that and inner travel, but this one, that's why, they say, oh, the grays are here, or aliens are watching us, or oh my God, look at the sky. Everybody is watching us. This is a world show, right? So really, it is about trust. And if you have a problem trusting, read some books, reach out to someone else that has a similar story, share your story. The biggest thing is to share.
Yeah.
I am a sharer of everything, right? So I always wondered, and I went into my Akashic Records many times, and I always wondered, why would I come down here? And that was one of the things I had to learn. Why would I come down here and want to be killed? Why would I want to be kidnapped? Why would I want to be sexually abused? Why would I want to be a druggie? Or, why would I want to be someone that's whatever?
Yeah.
And I did all of these things so that I could be on, the observer and feel you. So you come to me and you're like, well, I'm a child of, I'm an adult of child abuse and I can't get over it. So then let's walk through it. So I can totally relate on so many levels. It's crazy for me. And still, I have the moments where I'm like, what? I look up all the time. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And they're like, Griffis, you got this, man. And I'm like, all right. So, we're human. We are, a soul having a human experience. And so let's not forget that, right? So we need to learn to integrate the two, and it becomes a weave, right? Like this. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So how can people who are watching today and saying, okay, Tammy does all this stuff, I'm really keen, I want to know what's going on with these new moon, these full moons, or I really feel like I want her to read my aura, or I want to receive healing. How can people reach out to you, Tammy?
They can reach out on Facebook. You can just put my name in, Tammy Griffis. or you can go to my healing page, which is infinite. Yeah, the infinite. So just put my name in and everything on me will connect on Facebook,
Perfect.
right?
It will
And then
weave
you
itself
reach out to me.
together so they can be found. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh,
like I don't have a website. I did that 6 years ago. I did a domain. I did all kinds of stuff.
mm,
And then I decided that I just wanted to be me.
yeah,
That's
I get
it in
that.
this
I get
world.
that. I really get
And
that a
so,
lot. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I don't identify with all of that. So you can just find me Tammy Griffis out there, right?
Right. And if you
Infinite,
can't find her for whatever reason, which I don't think is possible, that you can't find her, reach out to me and I'll graciously connect the two of you, most
yeah.
definitely.
And then
Oh,
my page is Infinite Healing and Guidance. I do all kinds of stuff. Like I love jewelry. I
yeah,
make
tell us what you
jewelry.
do. Come on, Tammy, tell us what you do.
I make jewelry. I make dream weavers,
Oh,
right?
wow.
They're
Yeah.
not dream catchers, but mine are weavers because
Mhm.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna weave your dreams. I make all kinds of crazy little, right? Crystal
Nice.
holders.
I like
Um,
that. That's lovely.
yeah. So that's also what I do with my free time is that I'm a creator
Yeah,
of
I was gonna
all
say you're very
things.
creative. Yeah, that was on the tip of
Yeah.
my tongue. Creative. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a jewelry page also. But they'll all connect you on Facebook,
You do
right?
the, also you do the oils as well, don't you? I think as well. That's something you run as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the beginning of my journey too was I didn't even know what oils were, and I went to a class and I ended up buying 250 oils that day.
Oops.
And I freaked out. I freaked out when they came in the mail. I had like 8 giant boxes at my door and I was like,
My
what did
goodness.
you just do? But at that time I was also on like 10 prescription drugs
Yeah.
for all kinds of stuff, blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
depression, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
all this weird. I was killing myself on the inside. So the oils also started my journey. One day I probably ate like 20 oils because I didn't feel good.
You
So I
ate
was just
them.
ate them. Yeah, I just
Aren't you supposed to rub them in?
um no, if they're certified therapeutic grade, you can ingest them, right?
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
so I did ingest them, and the next day I didn't drink.
No.
I didn't drink alcohol anymore.
Wow.
It gave me up. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm also oil guru. I am a
Oh,
natural
yeah.
healer. Yeah. So
Wow.
if you need to know what oil to use, I'm your girl.
Oh, definitely. It sounds like, oh, this has been so interesting. This has been amazing. I didn't, because I actually didn't know that you were walking, and it's something
Yes.
I don't hear much of. I've heard it from one person before, but I don't know. So it's just like really interesting that you've shared that. And I'm sure people today are equally, intrigued. And even if you're having that experience and thinking, hey, something's different with me, reach out to Tammy. She might actually be your girl who's going to say, okay, looks like you're
Yeah.
going through
Yeah,
something very similar.
perhaps you're a walk-in,
Yeah,
right?
you don't
Because
know.
it could be very confusing because you wake up someone else. Like I didn't drink
Mhm.
and the Tammy drank, but this one didn't drink.
And she didn't want it
Right?
either. So you're like,
She didn't want to. So at first I was a little bit mad.
I want to drink, but why can't I drink it?
Yeah, I just wanted to taste a beer, say a beer. Really,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
drink anything but beer. But I was like, what do you mean we're not having one? What do you mean you don't want one? And so it's been the wildest journey. It's been the best journey. I love my life. Um, totally believe in yourself that you have the ability to manifest because whatever is up here is what's creating your
Mhm.
future.
Mhm.
It's creating your world.
True.
What you see, what I see is totally different.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Oh
Oh
my
my God, I
goodness.
could get all sideways on talking about it, but
Oh, we'll definitely have you back on for another cuppa, definitely, because there's just so much we can just embark on so many different paths here. So, I think this is a lot for everyone to take in today. So, thank you so much for sharing all this
thank you.
beauty, abundance of Oh my goodness. There's so much to process there. And yeah, for everyone who's been watching today, we hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have as well. This has been totally intriguing for me. And as I said before, if you want to reach out to Tammy, call her up, get in contact, Google that name, you'll find her. And as you know, as I've explained in her bio, she is a fountain of various knowledge and wisdom and healing. And yeah, let her help you, guide you to trust you, because trust is the key, as we all know. So thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much for taking the time today. And thank you for everyone who's been watching, and have a beautiful rest of the morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are in the world. And I look forward to catching up with you soon in another cup of self-empowerment. Bye-bye now. Bye.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure.